basically whether abortion should be legalized or should be illegal. Mrs. Mohammed's class is on this team, and they are pro-choice. They're in favor of making abortion illegal. Mr. Casella's team is over here, and they're the anti-abortion team, and they think abortion should be illegal. There we go. Oops, I lost it. What'd you say? Ed, you got it. You want to go first, or do you want the other team to give their argument? You want to go first, okay? Then we'll start by presenting the arguments for Mr. Casella's side and Mrs. Mohammed's side, and then we'll have a discussion among the audience, people, and questions following the opening statements. Okay, now I guess we'll start with Dominic on the anti-abortion side of the issue.
I don't think abortion should be legal because people use it as a form of birth control, and they'll later have more unsafe sex, and they'll just use it as birth control.
And we have Anthony next.
Yeah, if you want abortion to be legal, it's just killing a baby. Why don't you just have it and then shoot it? Same thing. Or killing a baby. Shoot it.
And Betsy?
If we have abortion, no one would know the meaning of life.
And Martina.
If your mother had decided an abortion, then you wouldn't be alive.
Okay, and those are the opening arguments for the anti-abortion people, Mr. Casella's class. Over on the pro-choice side of the issue, we have Kyle.
I really believe pro-choice because there's a lot of teams that will go out there and get drunk and have sex with a person they don't even know and have a baby by them, and they don't even know who they had the baby by. And they would want to have an abortion because also they couldn't probably support it. If they were teens, they couldn't probably support it.
Okay, Benita, could you give us your opening statement?
I think we should have an abortion because people get incest, and that means that when one of their relatives have sex with them and they get pregnant, and well, I know from experience that my friend, her father molested her when she was about 13, and she got pregnant, and she didn't want her baby to come out disabled or retarded, and so she had an abortion because she wants the baby to know her father, and she doesn't think it's right that her baby should both have the same father.
And then an opening statement by Kyle.
For medical reasons, some people don't want to have a baby if they would be retarded, or if they had medical reasons, if a limb was missing, they might not want to have a baby. Maybe they couldn't handle that was retarded. And also, my aunt was abandoned. She got pregnant, and then her boyfriend said he was going off to Germany, and he never came back, and she would have wanted the baby to know his or her father, and so she had an abortion because we went to go and tell her.
Now, which students could ask questions first? Mr. Casella's class, if you would like to ask a question of Kyle, Benita, or Kyle. Anthony?
Yeah, it's for Benita. If you don't want the baby to come out retarded, and if it does come out and you can't support it, you can put it up for adoption for it. It can live, not to kill it.
And Anthony, you also had a comment, or did you want to respond?
Could you repeat what you said?
If you don't want the baby to come out retarded and you can't support it, put it up for adoption for someone that can support it and to help it, and you can see the life.
But that still shouldn't be right because your father did it. Or somebody in your family though. But that's not right for them. They should be a role model for you instead of just going out having sex with you.
Yeah, but that's the difference right there. You could just put the kid for adoption and, it wouldn't be like that, instead of killing the baby,
Okay, Anthony, I think you had a question for someone on the other team also? Same person, or?
No, for Kyle. Teens going out having sex, they shouldn't be doing that. So.
Well, they go out to park parties, they get drunk. They don't know what they do.
On the first place, they shouldn't even be going to parties getting drunk. Going to parties, yeah, but not even getting drunk. They shouldn't even have no kind of liquor in no party. That's, if they get drunk, that's on them. And if they get a baby, they could just put it to adoption.
If they would want their baby to know their body.
So put adoption. That's all you can say. Someone killing a baby. Why would you want to kill a life?
But in the long run, they gonna want to know who their father is.
Well,
When they
let
get
them
older.
find out. What's so bad about
But if you
knowing
kill them, they'll never know.
Yeah.
If you put them for adoption, they can at least find out.
Martina, did you want to question?
No.
Are there any other comments from Mr. Saul's class as far as questioning? Okay, I think over here, Carlin had a question.
On adoption, I've watched shows where people put their babies up for adoption, and they try to find them again. And it's even harder to put their babies up for adoption, they say, than to have an abortion, because then they never, if you have an abortion, you never know what the baby's like. You can't get attached to it. If you give it up for adoption, then
You give it up for adoption, you ain't gonna know the baby's life either, so there's no difference to it. At least,
if they
if
try to
you
find
have
them,
the kid for abortion,
if they
you
want
ain't gonna know the life of the kid. But if it's adoption and stuff like that, if you find it, there's records that you can find things out about the kid,
I
There's
know.
not always that you ain't never gonna find the kid out, that's not true.
You don't get attached to the baby if you have an abortion. You don't know what the baby was like. If you give it up for adoption, it's even harder because you'll have the baby for a little while before you give it up for adoption.
So if you
Yeah,
have
but
the
if you're
baby,
killing the baby, it's no different.
if you have the baby, you love it. You can't get attached from it.
If you give it up for adoption, that's right, you'll love it.
If you give it up for adoption,
And if you never find them, if they're
Well, if you never find it, it's your fault because you were the one that put it, out,
I know, so that's why you have an abortion. So you
No,
don't get
because
attached
if you have an abortion, you're just killing a life. Okay, you put it for adoption aside because, it's nothing wrong with it.
gonna have a better
But
life.
abortion, you're going to get attached to the baby when the baby comes out, whatever. Even if you have an abortion or whatever, you see the baby, like whatever, you're going to get attached no matter what because it's your baby. How can you be not attached to your baby?
Even if it's retarded, you'll still love it.
Because if you come out with a retarded kid, it's your responsibility to take care of that retarded kid. Because, the only reason why you got a retarded kid is because, maybe someone's testing you. I don't want to go in the religious way, but, in my religion, it could be that my religious person could be like testing you, It could be a religious reason.
People can't do it. They can't.
There's programs that can help you. And for me, it's my experience because I got a retarded brother. And, like with me, my mother was going to have an abortion on me. No, and look at the way I came out,
Head start. I did it today, but I'm sorry what happened yesterday. Okay, we have our four people. Today, by the way, what we'll be doing, people, is having questions from the audience. If you want to question any of the people on either side of the debate about anything that they've said, or if you want to make any comments, today is your day to do it. Hopefully, before the end of the period, we'll have an opportunity to vote. Keep in mind what you're voting on is the team that was the most persuasive, the team that persuaded you with the best arguments, not necessarily your own individual feelings about the issues. Remember, the issues are the pro-choice, the people on Mrs. Muhammad's team that would like to have abortion be legal and let each individual make their own choice about it. The other team is anti-abortion, and they just feel that it should not be legal because it is not the right thing to do. Could the people over here reintroduce yourselves so that when the audience asks questions, they can call you by name? You're what?
Dominic.
Dominic, okay? Martina. Okay. Is there any question from the audience? Yes, Paul.
I have a
question for this team in general. You don't think abortion should be legal, but there's a problem that places are growing overcrowded. Now, how do you intend to solve that?
What'd you say?
Places are growing overcrowded. Abortion could be used as a means to control population.
The world's big enough for as many amount of people in the world. They got different places in the world.
There are different places, yes, but what do you intend to do with the places that are becoming overcrowded due to teen pregnancy, everything?
Comes overcrowded, comes overcrowded.
So you want to sit there and share like a room this size with 4 other people just because there's too many people?
People just stop having kids.
If people didn't have sex, they won't have, having to have abortions.
There are the measures when that you can't afford the operation to have the child delivered. What do you intend to do in cases like that?
Kids then don't have kids. You can't afford a kid, don't have sex.
You can't always control it. Nothing is 100%. If it happens, what do you intend to do?
These are used condoms.
They're not 100%.
Use 4 of them, okay?
Is there another question from the audience? Would anyone in the audience like to make a comment? Yes.
What's the question over here? You said that you'd rather have an abortion than give your child up for adoption because then you can get attached to it. How would you feel if you didn't even get to see the kids, you just killed them?
Because you won't know what the child's like, so you can't.
Exactly, you don't know what the child's like, so how do
So you can't love him as much as if you gave him up for adoption.
So you're saying that you'd rather have an abortion, kill a kid, than letting the kid have a chance to live?
Give him a chance to live, he spends his whole life looking for him.
Yeah, but then still you never know how that kid would turn out to be. Or if you didn't want the kid, you shouldn't be having it.
Another question?
Because some people can't help it because they get raped. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it.
Put the kid up for adoption, at least the kid has a chance to live.
If that's what the mother wants to do, let the mother do what she wants to do.
This young lady here in the purple looks.
A baby is, if you have a baby, then that's your responsibility. You don't have to just all of a sudden, you made a choice of having that baby. You can't just go and kill it for.
But it's your baby, you can do what you want to.
I know, that's not right though. You say you have a baby and then you don't even have a baby yet and you kill it, taking a young life away. They don't have a chance to live.
But it's what they want.
That's
What matter what you think or what everybody thinks, it's their baby. So
But
they
it's
can
still
just,
not right to just put a kid, have an abortion.
yeah, but see, that's what you think. Some people may not think that.
People have their own different opinions about it.
Parasite, any comment also?
Yeah, I have a comment for this side. I am not with abortion. I do not agree in it. I was brought up that way. I feel that by having an abortion, you're not giving that baby a chance to live. If it was like that, I would not be here today. None of us would be here today. And I just want to say that I can understand abortion for some reasons, like for medical reasons, or if that person knows that that baby's going to come up suffering or something. And plus, not always, adoption does not always work either, because maybe that kid might not even get picked. That kid will be in a home for half of its life. So that's all I had to say.
And there was one other student with a comment?
If your parents had an abortion when you guys were little, then you wouldn't be here arguing this point.
That's their decision. If they didn't want us,
It's their body, they get to choose.
Does anyone else want to contribute any comments or questions about this? Okay, then it looks like we will have time to summarize. We have a few minutes left, and I don't know that we'll have time to vote today.
Probably not.
Should we summarize then, or should we wait to summarize when we vote?
Maybe we should summarize when we vote,
That would make more sense.
because
The
people
problem
forget.
is, people, that tomorrow we're going to be having the CTBS test, so you will be going to home base, but you'll only be there for 5 minutes, and then you go to